Hi everyone, and welcome to the Q&A this week. If you are in the UK and you have kids or you are a teacher, I hope you're having a wonderful half term and I hope you're spending extra time with the kids. Maybe your normal routine has slipped a little bit, or maybe you're on holiday and I just want you to know that's completely okay. And what I always say is fitness is never about perfection. It's all about consistency over time. And that also means being flexible. So when you're away or actually you're off with the kids and your time is kind of dictated by what you're doing, your step count is allowed to be a little bit lower than normal. You're allowed to miss a few sessions. It's totally fine. And this is where I think range targets really come into their own rather than having exact strict numbers that you have to stick to. So, and I do it myself when I go on holiday. So, for example, I will have a range target on a normal week. I'll have my ideal. I'll write that in my workout diary. These are the workouts I'm going to try and do. 9 times out of 10, like I get them done. But I always have a safety net. If things happen that are just completely out of my control, that is the bare minimum number of workouts that's going to get done and is absolutely going to get done, even if I am doing it at stupid times or I'm doing them all at the weekend. Like that's what's happening. And then same with steps as well. My usual step target when I go away on holiday isn't as big as when I'm at home on my usual week. So I just think it allows for the all or nothing not to take over, and also to kind of turn down or double down that perfectionist mindset and just actually keep things real and keep things realistic. We need to be flexible. And also, I really think that this is where our squad comes in. Having those little community groups as well that we've just created and being part of a big group makes a real difference, because it's not just about that motivation, seeing what other people are doing. It's about having that accountability and that support and knowing other people get it and they're actually in it with you as well, cheering each other on, checking in with each other, talking about the classes, recommending them to each other, going to the classes together, celebrating your wins, and just keeping you consistent. That is the absolute key. So if your routine feels a little bit off this week, or you're coming to the end of half term and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what's happened? I just want you to know it's completely normal. It's totally normal. And what is more important is what you do on a regular, consistent basis. So we just focus on making a plan for when we come back. And in the meantime, just having a great time, make special memories, enjoy your holidays, and just do what you can. Just do what you can. Okay, let's go into the questions. So I've got a few questions this week that are just so different from each other, so different, really interesting ones. So question number one is, what do you think about Jennifer Aniston's Pvolve training? So Pvolve is basically a franchise, and Jennifer Aniston, she partnered with them more recently. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really do or follow celebrity workouts, to be honest. I don't do them myself online because I just think that they're usually very idealized, polished, and not actually that realistic for most people. I do think that fitness needs to be personal, and what works for a celebrity trainer, nutritionist, people with a very specific lifestyle isn't necessarily what's going to work for someone juggling kids, work, and daily life. And I know that's not exactly what Pvolve actually is. So Pvolve is actually a low impact functional training method that is essentially a blend between like Pilates and bar, pretty much. And they focus on a lot of mobility work and they kind of roll all of that into one. So in theory, it sounds really great. Functional training, that's all the training that is really important to make you strong. And functional training basically means doing moves that make your everyday life movements a lot easier. Basically, things that we do all the time in class at Lorna's online squad. So I'm just thinking literally this morning about sculpt that we did. We were doing squats. Squats is functional movement. When we sit down on the chair, when we get up, when we sit down on the loo, we get up. Lunges, they mimic going upstairs. Doing inchworms, we're getting down onto the floor, we're getting up again off the floor. These are all functional movements. So yeah, essentially that's what they say. They focus on functional movements. Good, we should be doing that anyway. And I think it's great. Like you have to choose workouts that you enjoy and workouts are going to keep you coming back. And yeah, they're better because they're the ones that actually work, right? The ones that keep us coming back because we enjoy them. But I think the downside with this is really, at the end of the day, it's a product. It's not like a person or a community. You follow the video and then that's kind of it. And there isn't really much adaptation for like your body, your energy, your injuries, your lifestyle. And then when you compare that with what we do at Lorna's Online Squad, you're not following a program. Like, of course, I make the timetable and you can choose if you want to follow the classes, the first class or the second class, or do both of them. And I fix a timetable in a way that if you want a bit of a workout calendar, then essentially you've got it there. But you don't have to follow it like that. The thing is with what we do, I'm checking in with you all the time. I check in with every squaddy every single month without fail. And I'm here for you to help you adapt where you need to as well. And even so, some squaddies are talking about this in one of the community groups this morning about having, if you've got a little niggle or injury, it's so great because there's so much variety on there that you can actually just switch out to something else. And you're part of a community that's going to encourage each other, keep each other accountable, and celebrate each other's wins. And I personally think that's where you see the real results. And I guess Pvolve is getting attention because it's being backed by celebrities. It's obviously a workout that works and it's functional, is joint friendly, etc. But it's also missing out on a lot of other things. Like, there isn't anything wrong with doing some high impact sometimes as well. That's actually really important for your joints. Really actually working the heart rate, getting it up there is actually really important and it has a place too. Doing strength workouts where you're using more than, what do they use, like pound or two, is really important for working your bone density. So there's pros and cons. There really are pros and cons. But I feel like if I were to choose a workout, I'd want it to be personalized. I'd want to know that my voice is heard. I'd want to have little things to keep me accountable, like, our challenges and things, and just be more than just about the workouts. So, for example, next month we're doing a nutrition focus, which I feel like you get in the squad. So, that's my personal opinion on it. I think there's a lot good about it, but there's also a lot that it's missing, not just in terms of the workout, but in terms of like the wider side of it as well. I know they do have it at studios too in the US. So essentially I guess you're buying into a product, aren't you? You're buying into a celebrity product, each to their own. And I think the most important thing is finding something that you enjoy and that you stick to. You're going to be able to stick to. Okay, question number 2. I've been watching Wednesday and it got me thinking about the psychology of the pack. Why does having a gang make us more accountable? Okay, I've never watched Wednesday before, but I can definitely talk about the psychology of a pack and how it makes us more accountable, because that's exactly what we see, right? There was actually a study done in 2016 in the Journal of Medical Internet Research. And what they did is research that just looked at people using digital health programs for exercise and nutrition. And the participants were split into 2 groups. So some people were doing the group solo, so just going through it in their own time, and others were placed into smaller teams. And the results were that those who were working in teams were 70%, almost 70% more likely to stick with the program and consistently log their workouts versus those who were doing it on their own. And the researchers, they called it accountability through social presence. So basically, when we know that other people are in it with us and we're doing it together and they're noticing our progress, we're staying accountable, we're cheering each other on, or they're waiting for us to show up, like our tea time group, all agree who's going to the class that night. Are you going? Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, me too. It's about a human connection. It becomes less about your willpower and more about the fact that you're accountable. You told other people you're going to be there. We don't like letting our pack down. And that's a really, really powerful motivator for your fitness. And that's exactly why the squad works, because you're not isolating in isolation. Like, yeah, of course, we're online. We're in the comfort of our own homes, which is so brilliantly convenient, by the way. But you've got other women checking in on you, celebrating going to the class with each other, supporting each other. So if you skip a day, by the way, I have a little rule. So you skip a day, you might even skip the next day, but you have to use that second day to prepare for what you're going to do on the third day, and never skip the third day ever, no matter what happens, unless you're ill. Anyway, if you skip a day, chances are, someone might notice, or if you say something in the group like, I just really couldn't motivate myself, don't worry, I feel like that sometimes too, but let's all go together tonight. And it keeps you going. It's accountability in action. And we see it all the time, say in our step challenge that we just did, in the challenges, the monthly challenges, the step competitions, the WhatsApp groups, and also the check-ins with me as well. It's knowing that you're part of something, and it's that real life connection to real people. Having that social support there and the sense of belonging are just key for long-term consistency. It's so important. So I guess next time you're feeling really unmotivated, just remember your pack, your squad are counting on you. And that's a really good reason to keep on going as well. Question number 3, what is the best exercise or class to help reduce a neck hump? Okay, so the neck hump or dowager's hump is, well, essentially it's just that. It develops from a combination of having really tight chest muscles and then weak upper back muscles. It's called hyperkyphosis as well. And it makes us kind of have a bit of a forward head posture over time. Now, the things you want to focus on, of course, controlling the controllables. Sometimes there might be an element of this that is, out of our control, for example, like osteoporosis. It's kind of out of our control to an extent, but there are things that we can do to improve this. And it's going to be mainly about improving your posture, improving your alignment as well, and releasing the tightness in the chest and strengthening the top of the back. And also just generally mobilizing your spine, actually. So let's just talk about opening up the chest first. So we can do things like the cactus move, which we do quite a lot in yoga, or yoga escape. And actually, if you go onto on demand and you go into the stretch area, there are some upper body stretches, and there's a lot of this kind of thing in there. So we want to think about opening up the chest. So opening up the chest, cactus the arms. You can also use door frames for this. So if you have your hand on a door frame and you make like a T position with your arm, you can get a really nice stretch there across the front of your chest. And just doing things like regular yoga escape, regular yoga, you'll be doing these things anyway. So any upper body stretches, I would now go and favorite those. Just pop them in your favorites and you can like work your way through them. Do them at least a couple of times a week. Then we want to be thinking about stretching the upper back. So you've got things like rows, things like flies, reverse flies, for example. Basically, stronger. So make sure you're stronger, but also go to the upper body strength section of On Demand, get some of those in your favorites. And there's other exercises that you can do when you're not in class as well, like ATY. So you lie on your front and you make your arms into an A shape and then a T shape and a Y. And you just repeat A, T, Y. And it's really good for working the muscles in the top of the back. But I would also strongly advise you to be doing things like Pilates, because it's really good for postural awareness and improving your posture and just getting the spine moving as well. Then one final thing to do would be checking your posture throughout the day. So having little posture checks. Are you sat there with your chin pushing forwards without realizing? Chin tucks can be really powerful to do. Just literally training our head to sit over our shoulders instead of jutting forwards, which I feel like society these days has almost programmed us to lean forwards because we're always looking over something, aren't we? Like whether that be a laptop or a phone or something, but always looking over something. So just try and tuck your chin in and have a little posture check. How am I holding myself? Roll the head of the shoulder back, slight pinch in the shoulder blades at the back, open up the front of the body. And that can be really, really powerful because you get into a habit of doing it as well. So I guess the takeaway here would be to work on your posture, to do the right exercises that are going to open up your chest and release any tightness there, and also strengthen the upper part of the back. So team, I hope you've enjoyed that Q&A today. It was a little bit of all sorts, wasn't it? And if you haven't joined those community groups, definitely get yourself on them for all the reasons that we've spoken about in this Q&A today. It's so important. I hope you enjoyed the step challenge, and I'm really looking forward to running the November focus with you as well and focusing all on our nutrition. So stay tuned. I've got some real brilliant bite-sized educational videos that are going to be coming your way literally from this coming Monday, isn't it? From this coming Monday. And I've also got some resources coming to go alongside those little bite-sized videos as well. So I really hope you enjoy them, gang. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and I will see you in class.